This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. Just want to let you know that this week we did not have an episode, and so I am going to upload one of our Give Me a Bake episodes. The audio is a little rough. You can't hear it. It's perfectly fine. But it's before we got our Roadcaster, so we were in a closet with a microphone doing it old school. So, enjoy the episode. It'll bring you some laughter. Just have fun. Have a good day. Bye. Hey guys, I'm Sarah, and this is Give Me a Bake podcast, where we find out if my co-host April can bake it. There will be fails, but also some successes. And from time to time, we might even talk about our week. So enjoy the show, and don't forget to give me a bake. Hey everybody!
Howdy ho!
I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Give Me a Bake
Podcast.
So, April, what did we bake today?
We took cake mix and made it into cookies.
Yes, you didn't know that was possible.
I did not.
So it was pretty easy peasy.
Yes. However, it takes foresight because you have to leave your butter out so that it's soft.
Yes. And we left our eggs out so they were at room temperature, which helps kind of make everything congeal and whatnot.
I didn't know that was.
Yeah. It's always good to keep your ingredients, your cold ingredients, put them out so they're at room temperature. It helps with the dough and the baking and all that stuff. There's some scientific stuff about it. I don't know.
Scientific.
Yeah, because when I do cheesecakes, I always have to get all the creams and the cream cheese and the butter and the eggs, and they're supposed to be at room temperature, and it helps with the it helps it mix better, and you get less air, which you don't want air in the dough or the filling.
What?
It's a whole big thing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I read directions, I read the ingredients, and then I read, the heat and the time.
Yeah, so
I just, if it says throw this in there, or if these are the ingredients, then I'm just going to throw all those ingredients in it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to cook it for however long it says. I don't read the directions.
Yeah, so what you were going to do, you were just going to toss everything in there. And I was like, no. There's a certain way you do it.
I don't see why. Why?
Well, for one, so we made funfetti cookies with white chocolate morsels. And in order to get a good dough, you have to mix all those ingredients together first.
Mix.
Get all the bumps and lumps and stuff out, and then add the chocolate chips so everything is incorporated. So if you do it where you just throw it all in there, it may not incorporate correctly.
Also, on that funfetti cake, I thought, when you make ramen, there would be a little satchel of the sprinkles, and then I pour it out, and I'm like, oh, it's already in there.
Yeah, it's easy.
What if I wanted to use it as a topping and not as an inner ingredient?
Well, then you would just get white cake mix and then sprinkles.
But I would have to pay for sprinkles separately when I can just buy the funfetti. Okay, and it's supposed to have sprinkles.
Yeah, but it's incorporated all the way already in there, and you didn't want that.
Exactly.
So if you want the inconvenience, you have to pay more.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
So we made cookies. You got to use our fancy cookie scooper upper.
Yes.
How
it
was
looks
that?
just like, what is it? One of those like little ice cream scoop thingies?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or like a melon baller or whatever.
I mean, it was okay. Like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't, like, I would had to have touched the spoon. And then I would have gotten my hands dirty if we had used a spoon.
Yeah, because if you do that 2-spoon method first...
2-spoon method?
Yeah, where you take, like, 1 spoon and then you, like, scoop it off with the other spoon.
So I would have just been shaking that sucker and, like, tapping it, like get off.
Yeah, and how easy was this? It was just bloop, 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 bloop.
Okay, the second idea with the spoon would have just been if I just grab a great big glop of it, then I could just glop it on. You know, so that way I don't have to dirty another spoon, which I didn't know that was a thing, or touch it with my finger. So you just use big glops, like bloop, bloop.
Yeah, but
bloop.
it makes them so they're not so pretty and even and similar.
Okay, let's see. Well, okay, but that would show how they were homemade and not store-bought.
Yeah, but says the girl who was like, they're too round or too square still.
Well, listen.
You can have it both ways, April.
Listen. That was different. Those were already pre-cut cookies, okay? If I had to make this myself, first of all, I wouldn't have had that ice cream spoon. I would have just used a regular spoon, and I would have just grabbed a lot of it and then just glopped it on there, because I didn't know about 2 spoons. And even now that I know about the 2-spoon method, I'm not going to dirty 2 spoons, okay? That, or another idea is, I would have just laid it out all like a cheesecake, like a cake, and then, cut it. Squared.
Make them like bars.
Yes, there you go.
There is merit to that, I guess. You could do that. But we wanted cookies, so.
I mean, they're still cookies. Listen, when it comes to cooking, I am not a specific person.
Now, okay, so I found a recipe for this specific kind of cookie. So what do you think you would have done if you're like, no, let's just make them into a bar instead of cookies? What recipe would you follow then?
What do you mean? Cookies just take 10 minutes. I would have just put it on there and thrown it in the oven and waited 10 minutes and then taken it out.
No.
What are you talking about?
Well, because it's much more thick.
No,
more like a cake.
But it's thin like a cookie.
Yeah, but it still wouldn't have been that thin. It still would have taken quite a bit of time.
Well, after 10 minutes, I would take it out and inspect it, and then if it needed a few more minutes, and then would just continue the process.
So, for something like that, what I would have done, and, I don't know if this is 100% correct, but I would have then looked at the bag of the morsels that we got, the white chocolate morsels, and on the back it says if you want cookies, you do it for this time. If you want it bars, you do it for this time. And I would have followed that recipe.
So how was I supposed to know that those morsels bag is going to have a recipe?
It's on the bag.
How would I know that? I would know. Okay, listen. If you had said, make, cookies from scratch.
Yeah.
I would have looked up a recipe and I would have been like, okay, you need chocolate chips. Okay, I would have bought the chocolate chip bag and I would have thrown everything in my mixer and I would have never looked at the back of it. Never.
Yeah, you would have had to do more work. All you would have to do is look at the bag and it tells you exactly how to make them.
Okay. why would I have looked behind the bag of a chip bag?
Because they're Nestle Toulaos. The whole point is to make chocolate chip cookies with them.
Yeah. But, like, I wouldn't have expected a recipe on it.
Well, do you have a box of rice? Have you seen all the recipes that are on the box of rice?
No. I buy bags of rice, and then as soon as I open the rice, after I use it, I dump it into a Ziploc bag. So then the bag gets thrown away.
Okay, what about...
And I didn't even know they had directions.
What about...
I have
Bisquick?
a rice cooker. And so the rice cooker just cooks it for however long it wants to cook it. Or I make Mexican rice, and I know how to do that.
What about Bisquick?
So I buy biscuits in a can.
No, not biscuits. Bisquick to make pancakes.
Oh, I haven't made pancakes in like 10 years.
Or waffles.
Legos.
Eggos.
Eggos. Yeah, no, I don't make pancakes, okay? If I want pancakes, I go out and eat them. I don't buy the frozen pancakes because I don't like those. But I will go to like a breakfast place and I will have pancakes.
So you've never seen a box of Bisquick?
Yeah, well, I mean, I buy something.
And it has the directions on how to make pancakes, biscuits, waffles.
I never noticed that.
You should... I would love to see you go home and look at the back of anything that you have there and see if
There's nothing
recipes.
that I have. I have cans of food. I have cans. I have flour. But it's... Okay, so we were talking about this and like how long flour is good for. I have maybe 10-year-old flour.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but like, I keep meaning to like examine it because people keep saying that it possibly has weevils in it at this point.
You would know if you had weevils, though.
How would I know?
They get into everything.
But they're in a plastic container.
It doesn't matter. If they got in, they can get out.
Wait, I thought the flour produces it.
No, like, the apartment I lived in when I was going to college, somehow something got weevils, and we got them in everything that has that kind of stuff in it. So, like, I was on bowl 2
So then,
of cereal.
as long as my little bowl is closed, is it still good?
Well, it depends, but I would look to see if there's anything, but we had weevils in my cereal, and it was gross.
See, I thought that was weird, because the way it was explained to me is that like the weevils would be born from the flour, and I was like, how is that possible? Because I was thinking like a dead body, maybe like the flour is dead, and then eventually like maybe old flies laid eggs in it, and then later if you don't cook it they will hatch and then they will eat your flour.
Let's see here.
Either way, is that bowl of flour, it's holding shit on top of it. And then there's shit in front of it. So I haven't been able to get it out because it's like a shelf. And there's stuff in front of it.
Okay, so it says the female chews a hole in a seed or grain kernel and deposits an egg inside. Then seals up the opening, leaving the egg behind. When the egg hatches inside the grain/seed, the larva feeds on the meat inside until it's fully grown. Once fully grown, the adult weevil eats its way out of the grain/seed.
Okay, so it's always been in the flour.
Well, like, I think somehow the bug gets in it, lays the eggs, and that's how the things are made. Yeah. It's very gross.
Well,
I ate a whole bunch before
there's
I knew.
no weevils in the pantry.
Well, that's good. That's what I'm saying. You would know. You would see them at some point.
Oh, then no, I don't have any.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I still wouldn't use that because it...
Well, I'm not going to use... I have fresh new
good.
flour. because it's part of my pandemic panic shopping. And that's why I've been wanting to get a bread machine so that it can make me bread so I could do something with this flour. So I have, well, not with the old one,
No.
with my fresh new flour.
No, I know, but if it's not bread flour, I don't know if it'll work.
What do you mean? You can't just use regular flour to make bread? Bread flour?
I think you have to have bread flour.
Is there biscuit flour too, and cake flour, and rice flour?
There is cake flour.
Oh my god.
There's special.
Okay. Where is it? Like, all I see is regular flour.
So, like, when I was making cakes for a while there, I bought cake flour. It's a special kind of flour that's supposed to be better for cakes.
But you can still use the other flour, right?
You can, but it's different. It makes it different. It makes a difference. It doesn't seem like it would make a difference, but it does. And it's in a red box. It looks kind of like a small...
Betty Crocker?
No, it looks like a small thing of minute rice, but it's in a box. Kind of like a cake mix, but it's like red swan, or it has swan something on it.
So that cake mix, it's not a lot of flour they give you then. Just a little bit of flour? Do you mix that with the normal flour?
You use it instead of the normal flour.
So how many of these... Okay, because flour, it's pretty affordable. Like, I
Yes.
could buy a buttload of flour and make a buttload of things.
Yeah, the cake flour is a little bit more expensive.
And you only get a little bit. So I'm basically buying a box worth... One cake's worth of flour.
No. I was able to use it a lot. And I think you have to sift it. It's a different kind of thing. Because when you sift it, it makes it bigger, I think. Because it's... I don't know science. But you don't use it the normal way. So you wouldn't just grab a scoop, cut it off, and dump it in there. You have to sift it first. So you take a whole bunch.
And that's something you learned by reading?
Yeah, you sift it, then measure it, because it's different. And, yeah. Hey, if people want to know, you're learning lots of stuff here on this, on this podcast. Yeah. So there's different kinds of flour. And if you don't have the right stuff, the right kind of flour for bread, it won't rise correctly.
That's what yeast is for.
Yeah, but you have to have certain kind of yeast. You can't have just like regular yeast. You have.
What about red yeast?
I don't know.
Because that was on clearance and that's what I got.
I mean, it might work, but it may not work as well. It may not rise as much. It may not, because like even if your temperature is different in your kitchen. If it's not like a steady temperature, it won't rise correctly.
So the bread machine takes care of all that?
It
I would have
stuff,
no idea.
It doesn't do it the way you think it does. There's a lot of... You have to mix all this stuff together, right?
No,
In the
that's
machine.
not how the bread machine works.
We have a bread machine. So
How come you didn't tell me?
You mix the stuff in the bread machine, right?
No, the machine mixes it.
Yeah, that's what I said. You mix the stuff
I
in
don't
the
mix
bread
it. The machine mixes it.
You mix it in the bread machine.
Okay.
And then you have to let it sit out, and then it's supposed to rise.
Whoa.
Sometimes it can rise in there, but then you also have to take it out, and it rises some more.
I'm not buying that kind of machine. I'm buying the machine where I set the timer and I'm like, I want fresh bread at 6 p.m. And then you plug it in and then you walk away. You set it and you forget it, okay? I'm just going to throw all the shit in there, set my little timer, turn it on, and go about my life. And then when I come back at 6 o'clock, I'm going to have bread.
I don't think it works that way.
Maybe your bread machine is old, okay? Because
it is old. My parents do have an old bread.
I've watched many bread machines videos on YouTube trying to decide which one makes the lowest sound. Mm-hmm. Okay, because some of them are big.
They make a lot of noise.
Some of them shake so much that one time somebody said that their bread machine fell off the counter. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing my research. Okay? I'm not going to get that kind. I'm going to get the kind that just does everything. I'm just going to set it and forget it.
You know, you do have to mess with it at some point, right?
What do you mean mess with it?
Like, I think once you have it mixed and it rises, I think you have to do something
Nope.
with it.
I'm not doing shit. I'm not getting that machine.
And you ain't getting bread.
That is not the videos that I have fast forwarded through, okay? Dude, they talk too much, okay? They talk way too much.
You know what you need to get? You need to get a,
I need to make 5-minute crafts for cooking.
you need to get one of the Instapots. Then you can, like, make stuff like that pretty quickly.
Instapot.
Yeah, we have one. You just, like, put the stuff in there, put it in there. So, like, let's say you wanted brisket and potatoes. Normally, that would take, like, all day to cook in a crock pot. But in an Instapot, it can take, like, 20 minutes.
I think I've seen or heard this before.
You need one of those. But you have to read the instructions because you could do what Susan did and it burned. And if you don't unseal it right, it can be explosive.
Ooh. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want that. That's scary.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful.
No, I shouldn't have dangerous things.
So, April, how did the cookies go?
Well, after Google went off, he's our timer, I opened it and I was like, this doesn't look right. And Sarah was like, they're fine. So we took them out and then we put in the second batch. And then when the timer went off, Sarah was like, let's leave it in there longer. And I'm like, seriously, my cookies we take out early, but your cookies we leave them in.
Now, there was 2 different kind of textures of the cookies that way. So the first ones we took out early or when it was an actual time to take them out. And they were a little less done. And then the ones but they were more cookie-like. But then we did the second ones where we left them in a little bit longer and they were more cake-like. So it really just depends on which kind you like better. Personally, I like the taste of the cookie ones, but I thought the texture of the cake ones were a little bit better. But I liked the cookier ones more. What about you?
I like the second one better.
You like it more done, more fluffy?
I was more not concerned with dying from eating like raw cookie.
Let me tell you this. We've had so many raw, like, just eating cookie dough.
Yeah, we
fine.
don't do that.
You'll be fine.
We didn't grow up making cookies, okay? I've always heard you don't, like, from TVs, like, you don't eat that, you don't eat that. So guess what? We don't eat that, okay? TV told us not to eat it. We're not going to eat it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'd be fine. So, April, now on our other subject.
Yes.
What irritated you this week?
What irritated me this week? So, for some reason, every single place I tried to eat from last night was closed. So, all day, all at work, I was like, what am I going to eat tonight? What am I going to eat tonight? What am I going to eat tonight? I was like, you know what? I really want some McDonald's French fries. And then later I was like, man, I can get McDonald's French fries whenever. I really want some nachos. So I wanted Taco Casa nachos. And I looked it up on my phone, and Taco Casa closed at 10. And I'm like, whatever, I can go to Taco Bell. I go to Taco Bell, and there's a car reversing out of drive-thru. And there's another truck in front of me that he pulled in right before I did. And so, like, when he realizes that the car is backing up, he backs up too. So then the truck that was backing up left, and then the other truck kind of backed up towards me. And so we both look at each other, and we're like, we don't know. And so then he scoots up and goes kind of like, because there's people in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And the people in the parking lot tell him something. So then he reverses back because he's going to leave. And I asked him, I was like, hey, so could we still order inside? And he's like, yeah, you should be able to, because there's a car stalled in drive-thru. I was like, okay. So I pull up, and there's a lady with food from the store handing it to a customer that's outside. And I'm like, okay, she must have been like the last one that was able to order. Yeah. So I like lower the window and I yelled. I was like, hey, can I still order here at the door? And she's like, no. And I'm like, why? You know, why can't I just order at the door, and then you just bring it to me? Yeah. Or I'll just wait here at the door for like that. That's how much I wanted nachos. Yeah. Okay, that I would just wait there. But they were like, no, and I was like, fine. I'll go to Whataburger, because today, you know how you get junk mail? Yeah. Well, we got a coupon for Whataburger. Not that I had the coupon with me, but I was just like, Whataburger.
Okay, now before you finish that, I have a gripe to pick with you and my sister, because last week when I came home after both of you, you were both here talking, and I came in and I said, hey, I hope no one wants to go to Whataburger because the other one's not open yet and this one is shut down. And neither one of you, I guess, heard me or paid attention because she didn't know either. And I was like, I said it to both of you. No. No one pays attention to me. No. That's fine.
So I'm like, I'm going to go to Whataburger. And I haven't even left the parking lot, right? When I look over and I'm like, it's all dark and black. And then I notice a fence around it. And I'm like, well, that's just great. Of course, Chipotle is closed. Yeah. And Chick-fil-A is closed. I'm not going to go to Arby's. And I was like, okay, I guess it's just going to be Taco Cabana. I can have my nachos again. Yeah. Taco Cabana is supposed to be open 24 hours a day. So I pull up and I'm waiting at the window. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Another car pulls up behind me. And then the lady comes up and she's like, I'm sorry, we're closed. And I'm like, okay. So I'm pulling out, and across the street is Burger Street. And they have an open sign. And I'm like, I guess I'm getting a burger. So I cross the street. I go in the drive-thru. And I'm trying to decide what I want. And then over the loudspeaker, they're like, I'm sorry, the grill is down. And I'm like, no. What do I do? Do I go back to McDonald's, like my original plan? And then one of you replies, Sonic is open. I was like, well, they better be. And so I go to Sonic, and they are open. And I'm over here deciding what I want. And then I'm about to push the button when I notice that terminal is down. So I have to back up and go to another stall, and I'm finally able to order my food.
It smelled really good.
It wasn't that good.
Oh, that sucks, because it smelled really good.
It wasn't that it was bad. I was just mad. Because I had already gone through all these different... I was going to get nachos at Taco Bell. Didn't happen. I was going to get the chicken strips at Burger King. That didn't happen. I was going to get nachos again at Taco Cabana. That didn't happen. I was going to get the olive burger at Burger Street. And that didn't happen. So by the time I got to Sonic, I was just mad. Nothing was going to make me happy because I couldn't have the other foods that I had wanted.
Right? That happened to me one time when I came home from work, when I used to work at night. And I was just like, seriously? Like, nothing is open?
And the worst part is the Taco Bell by my house is getting remodeled. So if I want Taco Bell, I can't get it from home. Yeah. I can't get home Taco Bell. Like when you're randomly at home, you're like, I want Taco Bell. No, I have to leave my little area to get it. Yeah,
there was one down the street. I was like, Susan, just tell her about the one at Supplet. But I guess that was too far.
I was like over it. I was gonna end up at like QT or something. Yeah. That's the point where I was at. I was like, I guess I'm just going to QT.
Hey, nothing wrong. Quick trip.
Get me. I mean, they have nachos.
Yeah.
Could have gotten a Slurpee.
Something.
Baja Blast a la QT. What about you?
So I had one, and now I've lost it from all that. I don't even know. It was something to do with work.
Oh, yes. Work again.
Oh, so I do remember this. So I answered the phone the other day, and I said, "Thank you for calling my company. This is Sarah. How may I help you?" And they go, "Oh, I thought you were a robot." Because I guess the way I said it, and he's like, "But then you stopped talking." And I was like, "No, I'm a human." And we like talked or whatever. But the day before that, I was talking to some guy, and he just like I couldn't really understand him. He didn't speak English all that well, and all he kept saying was something about robots and AI and like going around in circles. And I was like, "But I'm a human. I'm not a robot." And so when I said I wasn't a robot the next day, they were like, "What is happening over there?" Like the ladies I sit next to, they were just like, "Why are people always asking you if you're a robot?"
You know what? When I pick up the phone, I just say this is April.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you already hit so many prompts. You know who you're calling. I'm not going to say the company name.
Yeah.
Because you know. And if you don't know after you've pushed so many buttons to get to me, then you're the dumb one.
Well, I've had people call and they're like, "Oh, this isn't this place?" I'm like, "No. No, it is not." Or they're like,
instead of saying thank you for calling, you should just say, "This is ABC News. This is April. How can I help you?"
You know, I'm recorded. So, like, I have to.
Yeah, you're
professional.
recorded. But they're only going to listen to that if there was a problem with that customer.
We have people who listen to them, like, randomly, like, listen to random calls. So, I have to mind my P's and Q's. But, and they're recorded on their end as well. So, I'm always getting someone that's like, "You are on a recorded line." Okay, thanks.
Whatever. Then you should know where you're calling, okay?
Yeah.
This is ABC News recorded line.
My biggest problem, though, is that I have called these lien holders, and I'm pretty sure that when I call this one company, the people aren't here in the States. Mm-hmm. And the first time I called, I was like, is that a rooster?
Oh, they're working from home.
So there was like a rooster just like cock-a-doodle-doing, and I was like...
That's going to be me. I have a neighbor, because I live in apartments, but next to me there's houses.
Yeah.
So that house has a rooster.
Oh, really? Yeah, so I was like, is that a rooster? And she just ignored it. Like, she had no idea what I was talking about. And I was like, isn't it a little too late in the day for the rooster to be cawing?
Dude, that rooster, he's like Skitson, okay? He'll start like cockadooing like at 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like he's just random.
Yeah.
Like he's random.
So I've called and I've talked to her 3 times, and she just ignores that the rooster is even there. Then I called yesterday and I talked to a guy, and all of a sudden I heard a rooster, and I was like, are they a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, mother,
Maybe
father,
their
son, daughter?
apartment is next to a one neighbor that has a rooster.
Well, and so I was just like, oh, that's so random. And so then when I got off the phone, I go, oh, plot twist. I was like, there's 2 of them now that live in this rooster house. But I was like, well, I think maybe what it is that when they work wherever they are, that it's morning where they are, and it's afternoon where we are. And so that's why the rooster's always crowing, but they pretend like it's not there. And I'm like, I can hear it. It has to be very loud, because I can hear it on my end. And they just ignore the fact that it's there. And I want to ask questions, but like, what's his name? Can I talk to the rooster? Like, what? You're making me listen to it, so now I feel like they owe me explanation as to why the rooster's there. But they just pretend it's not there.
I remember when we used to work together at the previous job.
Yeah.
I had trouble where I would constantly get locked out or just crap would happen because we have so many different systems and so many different passwords for stuff that I ended up becoming friends with like the IT people.
Yeah.
And it's like a group of 6 of them, you know, and like I remember one time they had like a national holiday, but they had to work obviously because it wasn't a holiday here.
Yeah.
He's like, no, yeah, but we brought food. We're having a great time. I was like, that's awesome.
That would be
and
awesome.
I was like, well, what happens during our holidays? He's like, well, because your business is a 24-hour business, we still are here, but we still celebrate your holidays.
Well, that's
Because
fun.
we're an American company. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
That's cool.
So they do their own spin.
Hey. I mean, they're probably having more fun than we do at the store.
No, the other company.
I know.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I bet they're having more fun than we do at the store.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we just get angry people that are like, are you guys open? Oh, I'm sorry, you're open. Well, then why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here?
Yeah, I had a customer return dog food because it was $3 cheaper at Walmart. But then he continued, because he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to another customer person. And he's like, yeah, but you know, Walmart closes early, blah, blah, blah. I was like, bitch, that's a convenience fee, okay? We were 24 hours, we're open. And we had your dog food that apparently wasn't that important because you didn't feed your dog because the bag was completely closed.
Oh, what a jerk.
Yeah. So it's like, why even buy it? You should have just bought a can of food until you could go to Walmart the next day.
Mm-hmm. That's my bitch for the week. Is that your bitch for the week?
Yes.
So, what do you want to do next time for your culinary?
I would like to make donuts from biscuits. I saw a video on YouTube about this lady and her son or her grandson's making fun of her, talking about making your prison food. And she used like the little pop and top biscuits.
Yeah.
And she like fried them, I think. And then she like poured a little bit of cinnamon on it or something. Like, I don't know. I can't remember. But it was so funny. And I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. I've seen it. Never tried it, but
We can make a fancier version of it. But like, I would like to try to make donuts.
Okay.
Or donut holes. That would be easier. That
Donut holes would be easy.
Because they're just balls.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we would. Yeah, we could try that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to figure that out. All
Or
right.
what would you like to try?
I thought we would just, continue like the easier ones until you.
That's
got it
easy.
down,
Then you
but-
just pop it. Like pop.
Yeah. Have you ever been hit by oil? That stuff hurts.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's not a good time.
I
I mean, we could do it, but we'll let you do it.
no, I don't want to get burnt.
Oh.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. What about if we make, baking.
I bought stuff to make like a peanut butter cake of some sort. If we want to do like a fancy, like take a box cake but make it fancy, I bought peanut butter Dove chocolate pudding that you could put in it, mix around, and it makes it more moist and fancy.
If you want. I can't even imagine what that would be like. Like, my vision. Okay, so when you said a peanut butter cake, the first thing I thought of is we just make a cake and then we're going to use peanut butter as the frosting. And then when you started saying, and we'll put all this stuff in there, and I'm like, ooh, that's going to be runny. It's going to be a runny cake.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine what you're saying.
Okay, we'll look up recipes. We'll figure out something.
You'll look up recipes.
Okay, yeah. I'll look up recipes.
You know I'm not going to do
That's
it.
true. It's very true. All right, well, I guess until next time.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, no. Come back. Come back. Don't go. Don't leave me.
So April, where can they find us?
Dude, they already found us. And then we lost them again.
Besides on this podcast, where can they find us?
Oh, yes. You can find us at Give Me a Bake Podcast over on Instagram.
You can also email us your fails, your successes, your triumphs, rub salt in our wounds of your baking, cooking fortitude at givemeabakepodcast@gmail.com.
The G is not silent.
No. But until next time, guys, bye!
Toodles!
Thank you for listening to Give Me a Bake podcast. Please send in your baking/cooking fails and triumphs to givemeabakepodcast@gmail.com or at our Instagram at Give Me a Bake Podcast. If you like this episode, please rate, review, and follow. This has been a production by Give Me a Bake Podcast. Our theme song is Trey French by Johnny Boyle. Till next time, bye! This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Girvani. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.